People, my people, welcome to the show. How are you today? Everything all right? Checking the audio. We're good. Nice to see you. Welcome all you beautiful people to HAL SPARKS Mega Worldwide. While you're here, like, subscribe, support patreon.com/HALSparks, twitch.tv/HALSparks, super chats on YouTube, stars on Facebook, or just hang out. I can't promise I'll remind anyone again during this broadcast because I always forget. So I'm trying to get it out of the way in the beginning. Forgive me. It's just, when you, I think it was Clint Eastwood in A Few Dollars More. No, Sudden Impact. I don't know. He was squinting at the time. I do remember that. And he said, man's got to know his limitations. And I've taken that as very good advice most of my life. And I'm terrible at the promo stuff, even though I did it this morning on KTLA. Thanks to them for having me to support the, thanks, Don. To help me support the Flapper Show tomorrow night in Burbank. Very exciting. I will be streaming that show for the patrons. It's going to be a party. And let's get on with our show because I gotta finish the show at a relatively reasonable time today because I got to get on the road. I'm driving to LA right after this because I'm going to have the morning show I'm going to do with Philip Ittner. And then the afternoon show, I'm going to do it from the house. And then I'm going to go to Flappers and do a show there. And then I'm going to get in my car and drive back here. And then I'm going to have one night here because my new desk arrives. Birthday gift from my beloved. My Summer decided to finally, I've been talking about getting a stand-up desk in here so that I'm not sitting for hours on end because it's just not how I roll. And no pun intended, with my wheelie chair. So I'm going to, some of the show, do standing up at some point in the near future. I'm excited. Morning, Hal, you Ken Burns hater. Yeah, get used to it. I'm indeed a traveling man. Friday, I'll be in Dallas. Saturday night, I'll be in Dallas as well, but doing a wedding, so nobody can come. And then Sunday, we're in Austin, Texas, doing a show there at the Speakeasy. Simply to irritate Joe Rogan and Alex Jones. Although I don't know if he'll be in town. He's got court cases all over the goddamn country. So there you go. Anyways, my schedule is getting back to abnormal. This is actually how I've lived most of my life as a touring comic. So I'm actually, it's quite exciting. Anyway, so it's an up and down desk. Yes, it will be. She bought me the electric one so I can program 2 heights on it, or 3 heights, I think. And then I guess if you want to squat, if you want to do like, I could do one show sitting, one show standing, and one where I'm in a horse stance. But anyway, so I'm going to set that up. Thursday's teardown will be, I'm going to basically assemble the desk and tear this whole thing out. And then I'm gone Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then Monday when I get back, I'll have to do a kind of scramble to get the show online. I might have to skip Monday's show just to rebuild the goddamn thing. We'll see. Depends on how much I finish. It's going to be, it's a lot. It's a lot. A desk unboxing show. It's not a bad idea, actually. Do one sitting on the floor. I'm not against it. There's possibilities. There's potential. I can always set up my, my road kit on the dining room table or the kitchen island and just do it from there in front of the refrigerator. I've done worse. Chip will miss my lap. You're absolutely right. Although he jumped up in my lap as I was getting ready. He usually saves it to the end of the show. And he jumped up in my lap right away before I started, which was like, treat. And I was like, all right. So that's why I didn't start exactly right on time. Why the little graphic. Anyways, here we go. Let's start. I want to start with something that I find... It's been sitting there for a while, and you guys know one of my favorite things in life. Oh, one of my favorite things in life is a dead talking point. Oh, when a talking point goes dead, and when they're like giving it CPR, and everybody's like, "He's dead, Jim," and they're like, they just can't let it go. Some of you may have seen this premiered last week. Kevin McCarthy did this thing, the commitment to America. Because your life has a glass ceiling on it when your dream is to be the next Newt Gingrich substitute. So they ran this ad. This is the little story. I have not watched the whole thing because it was up there. But we gotta. And and then what I did was, before I watched this or whatever, I grabbed the documents for what it is. This is the web page for it, Commitment to America, blah, blah, blah. And then they did a big, long half-hour gabble, like just a bunch of them talking their asses off. It's not, all of it's in this thing. All of it's in this preamble thing. This is called the preamble to the Commitment to America, because they're basically the founding fathers at this part, minus the, I suppose, actual literate documents. We'll see. Okay, yeah, it's a conservative circle jerk in one direction. So this is the preamble video. Pardon me while I whip this out. America. Yes, that's what you want to do, is basically open your, I know, criticizing right away, but can we open with the footage from the Shining or the end of Blade Runner, which are the same photography? Dad, I'm hungry. Well, you should have finished your breakfast before we left the house.
America is exceptional.
It totally is. Look at the trampolines. I mean, some third-rate country's not gonna have that kind of shit on it, you bastard. Who else what other country in the world could people have a trampoline in their front yard on an unfenced, or just allowing thieves to run up and bound upon the roof of their house, patoing? Charles, I think that's a mistake.
As
Americans, we cherish our faded flag backlit to make it look like it's brown and in kind of faded colors.
We cherish our rights to life, liberty, and the
pursuit of picnics.
Pursuit of happiness.
These people are all pursuing happiness. It's just, I wish it was easier to catch. Run, happiness, run, happiness, run.
We salute those who paid the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our freedom.
What about the ones that didn't but are wounded?
We celebrate the rich heritage of the American story and the
yes, that's a lot of stuff. They're right. I'm a fan of all those things.
Vibrancy of
corn, awesome.
The American
Look at this. Manicured lawns as far as the eye can see.
Dream. And we embrace the responsibility to protect and uphold all that has made this nation the world's shining beacon of hope.
Well, except that whole, peaceful transfer of power thing, Fuck that, obviously. And voting rights for everybody. Yeah, nonsense. We want to be able to overrule large groups of people's choices in an election. And of course, freedom for everyone, that kind of thing. But not a big fan of that, obviously. The world's shining beacon of hope.
Unfortunately, Democrats have led America off track.
Oh no, was there a track? I don't know, I'm just saying. Track, it's got a very trains running on time kind of Nazi Stalin kind of a thing to it. I'm just saying. From
crippling inflation and rampant crime to failing schools and border chaos. Worse still, they have ignored your priorities and shown contempt for your values.
They have? Oh, look, honestly, you're just throwing me a bone in the middle of it where they're ripping up his speech. By the way, did you hear the sound effect?
Priorities.
They put a ripping sound effect in.
And shown contempt for your values.
Hear that? I had no idea there was a shotgun mic on that at the time.
We will not allow it.
We're not gonna let it happen. We're all going commitment to America. Restore, rebuild, renew. Sort of build back better, but with ours.
The commitment to America represents a new direction that
A new direction? I thought we were off track. Wouldn't the direction be to get back on track? Oh, I see. You want to get back on track, but you want the train going that. I see. My mistake.
will get our nation back on track.
Yes, we want to, but the track goes over a cliff. All right, again.
We can no longer afford business as usual.
I think we want. Didn't you want to get back to business as usual? If the Democrats have taken it off again, never mind.
Starting day one, we will work to deliver an economy that's strong.
Okay, so you're not working on that now. Good to know. You ever notice when people go like, we're gonna work a party that actually was in power and still exists in power. They've literally, there's a split down the middle of the Senate. They could absolutely pass stuff that would actually help, but they won't.
A nation that's safe. A future that's built on freedom.
By the way, this whole thing, just for the record, is an ad for Kevin McCarthy. This is all, don't think for a second this has anything to do with the Republican Party and their philosophy about the country. This is Kevin McCarthy's plan to keep himself in the speaker's seat if they win. That's all this is about. That's it. And you know how I know? Because this is not on the Republican, I guess, congressional site. This is on Kevin McCarthy's personal YouTube page. It links directly from that. As a matter of fact, this site, the Commitment to America thing, is at republicanleader.gov, which is his other site. So, again, this has fuck all to do. The rest of the Republicans aren't even signed on to this shit. If there's anything even to sign on to, we'll look.
And a government that's accountable.
Unless, of course, you're the president and you steal classified documents, or your children engage in fraud or anything. In that case, you get a kiss my ass card.
This is our commitment to America.
Hi, welcome to Commitment to America. I'm your host. Hold on. I should probably... Here you go. Hello. Welcome to Commitment to America. Okay, we're going to go through... Thank you for everybody who zoomed in on this. We're going to go through... Okay. We're going to go through the preamble. America is exceptional. Wait, well, I said that. It was in the video. As Americans, we cherish our life. Okay. All this was in the video. This is not. Unfortunately, over the past 2 years, Washington led America off track. The crisis has crippling inflation. This is the same. We will not. This is just the script for the Sam. God damn it! This is just the. This is the just the. This isn't a preamble. This is the goddamn script for the video. I don't want to read. I thought it would be, the preamble would have a kind of we the people-ish kind of thing. And start on that, but it's not. Oh, God. Well, maybe there's more in this part. We'll just move on. Thanks anybody who's joining us late on Zoom. We played the video in the beginning. Okay, here it is. This is what we're going to do. Now you want to know what we're going to do? Here's what we're going to do. An economy that's strong. We're going to fight inflation and lower the cost of living. Because, boy, the only thing more expensive than living is dying. We buried my cousin Sam the other day, I swear to God. And, he had to get a double wide coffin. We had to weld two of them together like some kind of tiny house project. It was horrifying. Anyways, we're going to curb wasteful government spending that is raising the price of groceries, gas, cars, housing, growing our national debt. We're going to cancel all the unemployment insurance that's already gone. But we're going to stop all the infrastructure. A bunch of us voted for that. We're going to keep that, and a lot of our governors who didn't, were against it, are now, touting it and stuff. They'll be mad if they can't have those, right, Sam? They're going to have, Gary, sorry, Sam, we buried the other week. So we're going to, oh God, okay, increase take-home pay. through, I don't know, robbery or something. Create good paying jobs and bring stability to the economy through pro-growth tax and deregulatory policies. That's brand new. I've never heard anything like that before. Make America energy independent, reduce gas prices, maximize production of reliable, cleaner, American-made energy, and cut the permitting process time in half to reduce reliance on foreign countries, prevent rolling blackouts, and lower the cost of gas and utilities. Sounds like a great thing. I mean, we're pretty much maxed out on production at this point. It's refineries that are the problem, but we'll get to that later. This is just commitment to America 1.4 beta. I'm just saying. Strengthen the supply chain. Get that out of China, which already is happening. Expand U.S. manufacturing, also already getting that done. Enhance America's economic competitiveness and cyber resiliency. Oh my God, I'm going to get some like Iron Man armor or something like that. Maybe like a helmet. I just know I always use a VPN for the sites I go to. Matt Gates told me that. He has a promo code on this dark web VPN that he uses. It's amazing. I mean, you have to watch this video before you're allowed to join so that you're in on the crime. It's a long story. A nation that's safe. Secure the border, combat illegal immigration. Yeah, just so some of you quits. I know, so I'm seeing the chat blow up right now. We're not going to pass comprehensive immigration reform. Stop it. And catch and release loopholes. Yeah, you don't want holes released all over the place. Require legal status to get a job. Well, that's obviously we're going to get pushed back at Mar-a-Lago. Shit. And eliminate welfare incentives. It says Catholic charities. That's the kind of thing. Future that's built on freedom for men, of course. Achieve longer, healthier lives for Americans. Oh, personalized care to provide affordable options, better quality delivered by trusted doctors. Lower prices through transparency, choice, competition, invest in life-saving cures, and improve access to telemedicine. No, stop it. The chat is blowing up again. We're not going to expand the ACA and allow Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security to negotiate drug prices for things. That's not going to happen. Confront big tech and demand fairness because life isn't fair, hashtag, but it should be. So we're making it that way. It's called cyber communism. No. Who wrote that? Don't write that in my notes. That's terrible. A government that's accountable. But if you get busted, just quit. Preserve our constitutional freedoms, uphold free speech, protect lives of unborn children and their mothers. Guarantee religious freedom, safeguard the Second Amendment, in case you have any regrets about those unborn children later. Hold Washington accountable. Conduct rigorous oversight to rein in government abuse and power corruption. Provide real transparency, not that like lingerie transparency they have, that what I would call the Democrats like that peekaboo transparency. They're a bunch of pervs, and require their White House to answer for its incompetence at home and abroad. Gary, Trump's not even in the when he goes back. I see. Okay. Save and strengthen Social Security and Medicare after it ceases to exist. We're going to have to tear it all down and start over. Restore the people's voice through vocal surgery, I guess, and diaphragm breathing lessons. End special treatment for members of Congress by repealing proxy voting and increase accountability in the election process through voter ID, accurate voter rolls, and observer access. That's it. That's the whole thing. It's wonderful. A nation that's safe. That's wonderful. There he is. 900,000 things and 200 you know what my favorite part about this, and it's genius if you think about it, all the unsourced details, not an asterisk in sight. That's what I like, America. Oh my God. Thank you for coming to our tele-rally, hashtag TM Trump organization patent pending Trump tele-rally, and we'll see you next time for the commitment to, we're going to have we got another beta and a couple of security updates. Apparently, it was a mistake getting all your emails and your driver's license numbers and then not having proper security. It was apparently we hired the guy from Parler to do security on the website guy, and we apologize. We apologize. So tune in next week for beta 1.3487A. A beta. A beta. How do you say it? You're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. I just had to dive into that because I'm a glutton for punishment. Also, in reference really quick, if I may, point of order, Mr. Chairman. No, we don't have a... Trump did an interview with Dan Balls, and you know what? He said the same shit he always says, so I don't give a fuck. We're skipping it. But I will say this. Hoorah salutations to the women of Iran. Check this out. I was totally expecting her to turn into Iranian Wonder Woman. I know you're disappointed too. But she burns her hijab. They are burning their hijabs. And then this lady comes over and throws her in the fire, and they're in the fire. This is, and for the record, I would like to say, this is fucking dangerous. A woman died for not wearing a hijab, and now these women are, and that law has not like been repealed, and this is the day it all happens. They are acting in an affront to these Islamists that run the country, and they could get killed for this. Many may still. And so, kudos to them. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Take this hijab and shove it. I ain't wearing it no more. I don't want to cover the top of my head when I step outside that door. Oh, don't take this hijab and shove it. Right. Again, if someone wears it to show their religious belief, cool. But the minute you make a law where you have to wear it, it no longer has value as a religious symbol because it's not based on the moral showing of the human being. The signaling of those beliefs to other people by participating in this, it's forcible. Therefore, you don't know if somebody's wearing it because they want to or because they have to. So in these particular cases, you got to take all the have to rules out of it. Otherwise, you won't know really who believes your shit. And to some degree, that's why they make the have to rules. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. And it was like, that's pretty awesome. So congrats to them on this. And I want to show you something else that, where is this? Okay, this guy. Back this up a second. This dude. So this is a Russian conscripted soldier. Hello, everyone. This is the 1st Tank Regiment. He says, we've been officially informed that there's not going to be any training before they send us to the war zone. Now, this guy is crying. He is starting to tear up. Watch this. Official regiment commanders have confirmed this info. And on the 29th, we're moving to Kherson. Okay, by the way, beyond the fact that this is an embarrassing video for Russia to have out in general, this dude just gave a deployment date. So, and believe me, the Ukrainians now know. Therefore, think for yourself and decide for yourself about what to do with all this in the future. There isn't going to be any training, no shooting range, no even military theory, nothing. They just pack these fuckers up and send them to catch bullets. That's what this is all about. Oh, thank you for we're getting towards the level 3 hype train. By the way, Thank you for watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide regularly. I appreciate it more than you know. I have been overwhelmed with emotion for like the last 4 days because of the lead up to my birthday and after, and everybody being wonderful, and it's just crazy. So thank you guys so much. And I have to say, I'm still not used to running into people out on the street that know me from this stream and this stream only. That is a brand new thing in my life, and it's wonderful and beautiful, and I'm proud of all the other stuff I do in my life, my stand-up, music, everything else, but it's great when that brings people to this, but it's, you know, equally as fun when this brings people to that. It's just great. Yes, you are wonderful, Brad. It's true. So, let's see. This is interesting too, and I want to show you this. This is the leak in the Nord Stream pipeline. This is where it happened. It happened here, and then there were 2 explosions here and here. A couple of people have pointed out that whoever did this, the Russians, whoever did this was careful to do it in international waters outside of the territorial waters of Denmark or any of these other countries on purpose. So, hey, there we go. Hype train. Pretty fascinating. When am I coming to Tampa? After the hurricane and before the next one. That's all I know. I currently am without an agent because my agency got swallowed up and everybody quit. So all the people I liked are gone. So I'm not staying with them. So I'm hunting for that new booking agent and all that kind of stuff right now. And I'm going to take my time because I got a show and I'm all right. If I was, if it was the old days, I'd be like, fuck, I need somebody like yesterday. But these days, not so much. It's pretty cool being self-determinative. I mean, I always kind of have because I'm a stand-up. I've always had more freedom than my actor friends. But yeah. But once I try Mint, the agency, okay. Yeah, if anybody has any recommendations or you guys want to annoy big agencies and tell them to sign me, knock yourself out. It's a brave new world. I'm not against crowdsourcing it. But I wanted to show you this too. Hold on. Yeah, this prick. So this is Solovyov, this prick, Vladimir Solovyov. Yeah. He's bitching about the mobilization. So I'm going to show you what he says. I have some thoughts about mobilization. Burp. And with Kazakhstan, they say there's nothing to eat. Yes, very funny. We can all laugh together. But this is a direct translation. Here's what it looks like with some fun music. These are all the people leaving. We're making fun of all the cowards running out of Russia, but there's a lot of them. And a real gathering of some brave guys. They're practically running. So yes, all of this is happening. Also, I'm dressed like a lumberjack, and I'm okay. How many of these people are there? You look at them and you think, how many are there? 10,000? Okay, maybe 100,000. Who are they? What are they all about? What's it all about, Alfisky? We knew they would try to use some slick methods. We understood this. Why didn't we strike preemptively? For example, we have a detailed database. What an asshole. As to who served where, who properly used by our military officials responsible for mobilization, partial mobilization. They know who is who, so they could spread it out. So that not the entire factory gets called, no, not the entire village, not only representatives of certain ethnicity, certain nationality or religious group, and perhaps it's possible to do it in a way that doesn't prompt questions. I think so. So start thinking and acting competently. Act in accordance with the situation in which we find ourselves. What situation are we in? Explain to me, how is it possible that after 7 months of the special military operation, we don't have enough drones? In industrial quantities, drones of a different class and type. By the way, the guy who claimed that we have plenty, that everything is fine, we have lots of them, he refused to come on air. No, we don't have that. This guy didn't show up for the broadcast. We're getting them thanks to Iran. Where are our own drones 7 months later? That money that we've been collecting with friends all over the country and spent to purchase endless Maverick drones would be enough to produce the same drones. At least these quadricopters, I'm not even talking about the Garand 2 kamikaze drones. The government could have been doing this. I really don't understand. It's hard to come to grips looking at our Forbes list. I know these people, there's no denying. Some of them are helping the army and volunteers, they're buying some stuff. But pardon me, it's not done systematically. The combined tonnage of our oligarchs' yachts would be envied by the Navy of any large nation if they haven't been stolen already. At the same time, when you hear that we don't have enough satellites, us, a great space nation, we are vastly outnumbered by NATO's satellite fleet. I just can't wrap my head around this. Turns out we can't even see Ukraine as we should. Turns out, in order to possess complete information and offset the superiority of NATO's spatial intelligence, on top of that, we're also using commercially owned and private satellites for this purpose. Specifically those owned by Elon Musk. Pardon, but why don't we have that? Let's attach some jet engines to oligarchs' yachts and dispatch them into the damn stratosphere so they can send us data from there. Turns out we don't have enough military satellites. Why couldn't we produce them in 7 months and launch them? Not enough will do it? Thinking that everything will normalize? Obviously nothing normalizing. We're in a completely different phase. We're de facto at war against NATO. It's straight up torture when we have to ask, pardon, but those 300K who are being held up, being partially mobilized, do they have body armor? Proper ceramic body armor? Oh, do we have it, or do we have to buy it in China? Helmets, combat boots, warm clothing. Do we have all that? When they say that General Bulgakov was transferred, perhaps we should be looking at him closer. Since civil society is forced to buy up socks and underpants for the troops, so a partial mobilization of 300K was announced, but we have an army of 1.15 million. Where are they? Why do we need this 300K? We have to say something to the peoples. If that's because we're at war with NATO, fine. We have many people we could get. They could go in as volunteers, like those serving in our security forces. Why aren't we using these resources? There will be no panic, and no one will have to run. We need to work precisely, calmly, methodically. People shouldn't be stopped and inspected on the streets, grabbing everybody indiscriminately, demanding proof. This only provokes panic. The work of factories should not be paralyzed when their key specialists are taken away. Understand, guys, the fatherland is in danger. Okay, a war has been declared against us by us declaring war on someone else. We have to win this war. Watch closely who is disseminating what. Pay close attention. Understand, our animal is capable and sly. with a gigantic military-industrial complex. It's NATO. Either way, we have to win. Yeah, that's all silliness aside. Can you imagine how fucked you would have to be? That dude, that guy's burning his hijab, but he still wants to wear it while it's on fire. Connie Kelly, thank you. All right, I'm just not going to let that guy talk without fart noises, because the hell with him. This is the fun part, too. The list of and categories of citizens subject to mobilization is classified. For fuck's sake. Yeah. Yeah, he would never... well, I'm going to have to go to the bathroom now. Excuse me, I must go to the lavatory. These people are fucked. And there's the... this is one of the fucking tankies putting up this stuff. This dude... This is a father and son, by the way, flying into Russia, and they point out that they're alone on the flight. They're flying into Russia, and this is it. They are literally it. And again, if you look at what's happening in Iran, that is inspiring people as well, because the Russians, part of their internet is closed down, but they can see shit coming out of Central Asia, and they know what's going on in Iran. And these are this is in I think she's in this is in Ukraine during the bullshit referendums. Yeah. And this is in Dagestan, so they've had trouble in this before. They're like, we're not blind. Russia's in somebody else's territory. No war, no war. And they're like, again, by the way, you'll notice some women are wearing hijabs and some women aren't. That's how you do it. That's what people like. That's that American style democracy, where you can do your own religious practice however the fuck you want to do it, but it ends at the tip of your nose. And we all abide by a rule of law. So, this is the people going door to door with the referendum. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys some of that stuff before we jump in. And speaking of tankies, I don't even know if I'm going to do this whole video. I just like the title, so I just wanted to see what the fuck it was all about. I'm just curious, and I find this hilarious. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Rusty Trombone having a rough one, apparently, because YouTube took their video down because of, and it says something here. I didn't read the thing. COVID pandemic #vaccine. Okay, so it's probably for medical misinformation. I don't even know which video he's talking about. I'm surprised other ones haven't been taken down. Not for, like, he's really careful not to say anything. He just sits there and kind of dozes off while he brings on Aaron Mate and these other bastards coming in and shitting on the Ukrainians and calling them Nazis and saying basically they had it coming, all that shit. So I'm curious which one. So apologies ahead of time if the yammering gets to you. So this thing is happening to us. Hello, you 5.9.
We have been officially censored by...
Oh my fucking God. More like, we have officially, finally crossed the terms of service line where we fucked around and found out.
YouTube. They took down one of our videos for misinformation. But why are big media...
I would say, for the record, disinformation. Because this is an active measure as opposed to a passive measure. Because is Rusty Rockets dumb as a fucking stump? Yes. Does he know he's full of shit half the time? It's an arguable point. Does his staff know? Absolutely. Do the people who cut the videos and post them know? You bet your ass.
Organizations not censored for misinformation in the same way.
Because they have, they categorically make sure that they are, in line with the science, at least best science at the time. And I don't even know why he got their video taken down. So we'll see what the violation was in this window. But there's a lot of whataboutism. What they said, there's nothing wrong with vaccines, and obviously some people have reactions. Therefore, don't take them. That's where he is.
Is it because YouTube are part of the mainstream media now?
Yes, it is. So you should probably get off there and stop calling yourself independent media, because obviously you are part of the problem.
What?
Russell, that's the thing. You know, it's that they certainly are now. As you gain popularity, maybe you are part of the manipulation exercise, and your violation of the terms of service is not because they're trying to shut your message down. It's because they don't want you to step over the line and get them dismissed. So they want to keep you just on this side of the terms of service, just on this side of it, so you can continue to manipulate the public, because that's arguably what you say about the mainstream media, and that's what you do for a fucking living. So
Now. Hello there, you 5.9 million awakening wonders. Thank you for joining me on this voyage towards truth and freedom, where
many of you don't have a choice because we purchased you.
we embrace the light within.
You embrace the light within? Motherfucker, you do nothing but doomsday thumbnails.
Look, the superficial differences between us
The superficial the difference between Republicans and Democrats in the United States right now are superficial. Two legs in the same pair of pants. What's the difference? And by the way, don't vote for either. Check out.
form new unitary forces. And if you
New unitary forces. I'm the new universal unitary church of rusty trombones.
you're going to be serious about
Everyone stand up and do the official salute.
making change, you're going to have to make it with us over on Rumble, where these videos are released first and where we stream every day.
Yeah, you should probably get off here entirely. I think that's a great idea.
Live, 1 hour of content, absolutely free at 5 p.m. If you watch it streamed live,
At 5 p.m. what?
there's not even any adverts in it. There's a link in the description. Join us there every day. Now, we've got a fantastic
Obviously, the live shows weren't working out well.
story for you today about YouTube, about censorship, and
about yelling.
about the future
About...
of this platform. Now, this
You mean the future of your show? I really think if you should put your money where your mouth isn't and get the fuck off of YouTube, then clearly it's bad.
Get into the story. Earlier this month, we did a video about the changing narratives around COVID, the pandemic, and COVID treatments, in which we cited information on official government websites, which we misinterpreted. I'll have to be careful talking
Oh, we misinterpreted.
about it now, because I don't want to make the same mistake that
By the way, he did a... So I know what this is about. Okay, I'll open link in new tab, go back to here. Da-da-da, he's going to open this thing. Shut the fuck up. He did... There's this video. I've been censored. Go to Rumble. Fuck. My big announcement. I'm going live. That's what he's talking about. Where's his... Officially, they lied. Yeah, so this is the... Yeah, he's done nothing but these kind of videos nonstop. But there's so he lied, I can't believe this happened, you can't make this shit up, oh fuck. Like, he's just, the swearing with the asterisks works really well. What the fuck did he just say? Queen's funeral, where's his, he did an apology a bit ago. And by the way, it was all a scam. Look at the masks. This is a disgrace. Hang on, Fauci did what? Hang on, is this a joke? And then there's a target on his face. Do you agree? And there's Matt Taibbi. Right. It's all a fucking lie. Where is it? This is why they censored Trump. Did he take down his apology video? Because it wasn't that long ago. Am I just missing it? Hold on. I made a mistake. Where is it? Because he changed the thumbnail was just him by himself. Yeah, I think they took it down. Fuck this dude. That's amazing. So he made an apology video about this one. And then apparently, I guess it wasn't enough. So he was like, fuck it, and took it down. Let's see. Officially, yeah, 4 weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago. Yeah, I don't see it. It wasn't a month ago, I don't think. Oh, they came after me. This one. We did that one. That was 2 months ago. Yeah, so it was after that. So this fucker did an apology video, tried to get back in YouTube's good graces, and they basically told him to go fuck himself, and they wouldn't put the video back up. And understand this, there is no way with this many subscribers that Russell Brand doesn't have a YouTube liaison. Somebody works there and helps him out, and his producer or somebody gets to call them with questions, and they get white glove service. If I get a strike, I'm just fucked. If he gets a strike, there's a level of ass kissing going around. Apparently, it wasn't enough ass kissing.
Has had one of our videos pulled down and an official warning issued.
Yeah.
The good news is we're moving to Rumble.
Yeah, that is good news.
All of our content is up on Rumble first, and we'll be streaming on Rumble every day. We know that Rumble has a reputation in some quarters for having certain particular biases.
It's a right-wing fucking claptrap site. It's just short of BitChute, you fuck.
Biases that we are beyond.
Yeah, totally beyond. That's why I have on everyone who basically shits on democracy. Like, people who are all over the spectrum, like Matt Taibbi, Aaron Mate, Jimmy Dore, people who say the exact same fucking thing about everything.
I'm interested in total transparent
communication. Bullshit.
Empowerment of the audience.
Bullshit.
Symbiotic two-way conversation.
No, you're not. This is a rhetorical medium. Go fuck yourself.
And attacking elite establishment, whether it's corporate.
Yeah. Or people with $18 million worth of personal wealth in just their houses and cars alone.
Or state, so that ordinary people can communicate freely beyond the limited remit of the mainstream media. That is why it's so convenient that this has happened at this time.
Yeah, this is just what we needed. Right about the time I built an audience of about 5 million and only half of them are fake. Now I can bring them over to Rumble if they'll come, because I'm building a cult. And then I will milk those people and start selling them pancake batter and fallout shelters.
We have been persecuted for misinformation, and it's right. We have a responsibility.
Wait a minute. We have been persecuted for misinformation. What?
We have been persecuted for misinformation, and it's right. We have a responsibility.
Then you're not persecuted, you fucking chump. That's not persecution.
To make sure that the information we convey is absolutely 100% as accurate as it possibly could be.
Yeah, he doesn't go anywhere near that shit. He's not acting on 100%. This isn't a science fucking show. This is an opinion video series, and now an opinion live stream, which we might have to jump into at some point collectively after the morning show. Now that I know it exists.
We made a mistake in saying that was now recommended by the NIH. What we should have said is they're trialing. That's what.
All right, fuck you. He left the word out so that the fucking censor thing. They didn't censor him. He put that in. His own people put that in. That is manipulative. That is to make his audience think that YouTube did that, to put that thing over his face and bleeped him out.
What we should have said. You pointed that out to us. We made an apology video. We've taken that down as well. YouTube.
Yeah, you fucker. What'd I say? We've taken that one down as well.
Down our original video. We've taken down the apology video because in case we reiterate the claim while apologizing for it.
Like now?
Like if you said, I shouldn't have said that you look stupid in those shoes. You just said I look stupid in those shoes.
Okay, that's not how it works either. I talk about this shit all the time. And the only reason I get strikes, I get demonetized on my videos is because I swear like a sailor who's just had his foot run over by a barge. So, look, there was an article a few years ago. The people who swear are more fucking trustworthy and are more fucking honest. So, God damn it, I'm going to speak like I want to speak.
shoes, you know, that kind of playground mad logic. So
no, it's not that kind of playground mad logic. It's because you will try to apologize without actually apologizing while trying to slip the same misinformation in as if it's not the problem wasn't the information or the misinformation, but how YouTube reacted to it, you chimp.
So both of those videos you can watch right now on Rumble. They're still...
I mean, now I got to report this because he's spreading the same disinformation. He's just using it as using YouTube as a bank shot.
Live on Rumble. That's the reason we're joining them, because they're not going to censor our content.
Good. Yeah. Have fun. Tell you what, why don't you go to uncensored.tv or go to fucking ask Spotify to suck you up like Joe Rogan. Bye.
By the way, just so you know, I don't want the right to say mean things about people. I'm not...
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That's sweet. It's very sweet of you. Way to make a stand.
Interested in that. I'm not interested in wars between different traditional or progressive factions. I support and love
traditional or progressive factions, not conservative or progressive. Traditional. Notice how one word is more of a soft landing. Yeah.
Love all of you. If you love Donald Trump, I love you. If you love Joe Biden, I love you.
I just love Trump more than I love Joe Biden.
Want us to create new systems together. I don't believe these institutionalized systems at the level of the financial, governmental, or media world are ever going to serve ordinary people.
Yeah, he's Ron Paul if he lived at the Spawn Ranch.
I believe we're at a point of crisis and things need to radically change fast. And I believe...
Yeah, we need to create a whole new system not predicated on the rule of law, the Constitution, or anything like that. And we've got to do it quickly so nobody really thinks it through. We need a revolution of assholes.
We'll be able to communicate our message more freely on Rumble. And
yes, you will. Bye.
This misinformation strike and takedown demonstrates exactly what it is we're talking about.
No, it doesn't. Because you admit you fucked up. You perpetuated a lie because we misread what it meant. You sought out confirmation bias-based anti-vaccine propaganda, and you see it in every fucking thing you read. So you couldn't even read basic information without it churning in your fucking head into backup for your point of view. So you put this fucking video out and you misspoke, if I'm being generous. You lied openly if I'm not. You admit that was the problem. This is not YouTube being wrong. As a matter of fact, all this points to is that Rumble will let you post fucking anything because as long as it carries weight, and and their Rumble system, how many Rumbles you get, can be manipulated by the owners so that they can artificially crank the algorithm the way they accuse YouTube and Twitter and all these other sites of attacking them by shadow banning them. They basically shadow boost shit that doesn't deserve it.
We made an error, in my opinion, a relatively small error.
Oh, look at that. In my opinion, cut. Say a bunch of shit that will get us in more trouble. Relatively small error, and then my editor will take out the part that is legally dubious.
And we're being penalized. For me, that looks like censorship. And
it's not. You could have taken down your video yourself when they told you were misinforming people and uploaded a new one. You could have left your apology up, but you didn't because it lost you fucking viewers. That's what this is about. The apology video it drove away a bunch of his right-wing viewers. The viewership took a shit because in Trump world and MAGA world, you don't apologize, especially the Qs are clamoring around this fucking clown.
The reason I think it looks like censorship is because there's mainstream media misinformation up all the time.
Getting a hold of that information about whether you can get infected once you're vaccinated and potentially pass it to somebody else, that's really important. Well, today,
by the way, that's not she's based on a traditional vaccine. She was talking about a traditional vaccine in the very beginning. The mRNA didn't turn out to be that case. They've referenced that since. She left this up and the other references about you can get it, but you won't be hospitalized. That's the factor of the mRNA, that it will give you further immunity against illness, but you can still carry it. That was the new part of the mRNA vaccines.
today the CDC reported new data that shows that under real-world conditions, not just in a lab, not just extrapolating
March 29th, 2021.
from tiny numbers of test subjects.
Yeah, it's not like they just test things on like 8 mouses and then release a booster shot. They'd never do that.
That wasn't about the boosters, you dumb fuck. That was about a 2-dose of the actual vaccine. He just did it again. Look at this. Watch this shit.
Not just in a lab.
Okay. Consistent with clinical trial data, a 2-dose regimen prevented 90% of infections by 2 weeks after the second shot. 1 dose prevented 80% of infections by 2 weeks after vaccination. All right. That's about the primary vaccines. This is about the actual vaccines themselves, a 2-dose regimen of it, not the booster part. The booster part should work anyways. It makes logical sense that if you have, if it's spreading quickly and there are multiple mutations that are because it's such a gigantic pandemic that spread quicker than other diseases, you will encounter them. So therefore, the boosters become necessary for a certain group of people, especially. Notice how this is about the primary vaccines, and then what his reference is about the boosters.
Not just extrapolating from tiny numbers of test subjects.
Yeah, it's not like
Not just extrapolating from tiny numbers of test subjects. This was from massive amounts of people taking getting the shots, getting both of them. And again, it wasn't a first shot and then a booster. This was a 2-shot regimen. Watch this.
like they just test things on like 8 mouses and then release a booster shot. They'd never.
And again, making technically an artificial correlation, or trying to straw man her argument with this other base argument. So, and let's take a look at this. For the BA4 and BA5 boosters, the companies have submitted animal data. They've not released those data publicly, although at the June FDA meeting, Pfizer presented preliminary findings in 8 mice given BA4 or BA5 vaccines as the 3rd dose. Compared with the mice that received an original vaccine as a booster, the animals showed an increased response to all Omicron variants tested, BA1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, BA4 and BA5. The companies say clinical trials for the BA4 and BA5 vaccines will begin next month. They need clinical data both for full approval of vaccines. Their recent submissions are only for emergency use authorization and to help develop future updates. Presumably, they will measure recipients' antibody levels, but not the vaccine's efficacy against infection or severe disease. Such trials are very expensive and were not done for the BA1 shot either. Didn't turn out to be necessary. Helped against Omicron, all fucking ready. The references they were giving, Pfizer presented preliminary findings in 8 mice. They did full clinical trials after that, but because it was an emergency and Delta had just killed a bunch of fucking people, was more dangerous than the wild type in some cases, that's why. He's doing it again. This is active misinformation. This is creating artificial correlation between 2 separate studies and downplaying the yeah but parts of the article by highlighting this part and moving on. Look how fucking quick he plays this video. This picture. Because you guys know when I put a piece of stuff up on the screen, I may read it really fast, but it stays up there for a good long while. And if anybody ever asks me to put it back up again, you got it.
It's not like they just test things on like 8 mouses and then release a booster shot. They'd never do that.
Look at that. Just an asshole. Yeah, new apology video coming soon. This is, technically speaking, worse than, in some ways, the ivermectin thing.
Of you will be familiar by now with this famous MSNBC clip from Rachel Maddow. where Rachel says that if you take the vaccine, you cannot spread the virus. Now, I think most of us know now that that's not true, but that video is up on YouTube right now. You can go and look at it on YouTube. We'll put a link in the description.
Well, all right. Let's go. Hold on for the okay. Where is it? Link in the description. Let's scroll down here. Join our community. Meditation, breathwork, Rumble, locals, show less. So is that misinformation or disinformation when he says that they'll put the link in the description and then they just don't? There it is. That's all of it. I can click show less if you want to see less. That's show more. That's all of it. That's everything they put. That would be, I would go with misinformation on dumbass's part, disinformation on his staff's part. For some reason, they pulled the video. They didn't put it in there.
Although, in my opinion, that's misinformation. Because the truth is, the vaccine does not stop you spreading the disease. Does it? That was misinformation.
No, it stops you from dying from it. It stops you from being hospitalized in 99% of the cases. Most of the time, what is it? We'll look it up exactly. Hold on. I don't want to be misquoted. Hold on. Let's see. Here's the latest CDC stuff. This is here you go. COVID-19 vaccines protect against COVID-19 infections and hospitalizations. Vaccines reduce the risk of COVID-19, including the risk of severe illness and death among people who are fully vaccinated. In addition to data from clinical trials, evidence from real-world vaccine effectiveness studies showed that COVID-19 vaccines help protect against COVID-19 infections with or without symptoms, asymptomatic infections. Vaccine effectiveness against hospitalizations has remained relatively high over time, although it tends to be slightly lower for older adults or for people with weakened immune systems. Most people need booster shots. COVID-19 vaccines are working well to prevent severe illness, hospitalization, death. However, public health experts see reduced protection over time against mild and moderate disease, especially among certain populations. For the best protection, everyone 6 months and older is recommended to stay up to date with the COVID-19 vaccines, which includes getting boosters if eligible. Vaccine breakthrough infections. COVID-19 vaccines are effective at preventing severe disease, hospitalization, and death. However, since vaccines are not 100% effective at preventing infection, some people who are up to date with the recommended vaccines will still get COVID-19. This is called breakthrough infection. When people who are vaccinated develop symptoms of COVID-19, they tend to experience less severe symptoms than those people who are unvaccinated. The COVID-19 vaccines are effective against most variants. Constantly changing new types of variants, virus called variants. COVID-19 vaccines used in the United States continue to protect against severe disease, hospitalization, and death from known circulating variants. They may not be as effective in preventing infection from these variants. CDC will continue to monitor vaccine effectiveness to see what impact, if any, variants have on how well COVID-19 vaccines work in real-world conditions. Latest stuff is in their CDC COVID data tracker. Total cases, downward trend, total deaths, 1,051,389 Americans. Current hospital admission trends, 20,000, 31.5% 5+ with their first booster. Now they're including the children, so the children are much lower. So 35.1% of the people are, once you include children, they aren't necessarily getting it at the frequency that adults are. So it waters the number. It's more like 75% of adults. Yeah, there you go. Here you go. Hospitalization, vaccine effectiveness. 61% for 2 doses during BA1, age group, mRNA, population of 10 states. Here's the monitoring system vision. 92% for 3 doses, 7 to 190 days after third dose. 85% for 3 doses, greater or less, equal to 120 days after the third dose. 24% for 2 doses during BA2, 69. There's the breakdown. That's it. This is the actual information as we have it from the CDC, which anyone can go get, by the way. Now, Russell, on the other hand, does not want you to go look at the CDC sites because Fauci is a murderer and endangers us all.
Now, I'm not suggesting Rachel Maddow knew that at the time. I'm sure she was responding authentically to what she believed is the truth as a responsible, good journalist. I don't think Rachel Maddow is a bad person. I'm saying that if it's misinformation for us to say on our channel that something was recommended by the NIH when it's been clinically trialled by the NIH, and it's very difficult to envisage that there are potentially negative medical consequences, let alone fatalities that could come from that, then get that shit down, because someone could watch this now. Oh wow, it prevents the spread.
No, nobody's going back and watching early pandemic Rachel Maddow stuff because she's on every fucking night. Also, hold on one second. Let me see if I can do this. Rachel Maddow. Let's see. Vaccine prevents infection. Mm-hmm. See, December 21st, 2021. March, set your concerns aside, get vaccinated, do it for yourself. MSNBC, Fox, and viewers demand apology manager for declaring it's the December 28th, 2021. Personal. See if you've been putting off vaccination, now is the time to do it. Hold on. This is going to be an ad. And then I'm going to bring something up. Give me a second.
Just say before we do that, just as a personal plea from me, if you have been putting off being vaccinated for whatever reason, don't agonize about it. Don't let anybody make you feel bad about that.
This is December 21st, 2021, by the way.
And, get you defensive about it. Just make a fresh decision now. Take a fresh look at the issue now, looking at what's going on now. No matter why you have put it off in the past, no judgment. Now is the time to actually go do it. Because we really cannot afford you having to go to the hospital right now. If you're unvaccinated, you have a much higher chance of getting this newly transmissible variant we had never seen before a couple of weeks ago. And it's the unvaccinated people who it's going to make sick. And we really just cannot afford for you to have to go to the hospital right now. I mean, looking all around the country, depending on where you live, there is a very good chance there's no room for you in the hospital right now if you need to go. And
okay, so that's December 21st, 2021. I want to see when his video was, which one he's talking about. Where was it? Yeah, they're not showing when.
Media misinformation up all the time.
getting a hold of that information about what else, that's really important. Well, today the CDC reported new data that shows that under real-world conditions, not just in a lab, not just extrapolating from tiny numbers of test subjects.
Yeah, it's not like they just test things on like 8 mouses and then release a booster shot. They'd never do that. Most of you will be familiar by now with this famous MSNBC clip from Rachel Maddow, where Rachel says that if you take the vaccine, you cannot spread the virus. Now, I think most of us know now that that's not true, but that video is up on YouTube right now. You can go.
We can get there. Okay, hold on. Rachel Maddow. We can get there. Stunning pace, U.S. 1 year ago, reports on astounding pace of vaccinations.
First of all, you might remember late last week, we got the sort of...
So this is the video he's talking about. Let's go. Okay, get the latest information from the CDC. Let's see. And down here is reports on the astounding pace of vaccinations. Notes news research show vaccine not only significant against COVID symptoms, but for the most part, actually block infection, which means they also prevent the spread of the virus, which is true. According to the CDC data, it just doesn't guarantee it. Breakthrough infections are not the norm.
Astonishing news that sort of flummoxed. The U.S. had hit a single day, and we've ended up that we kept up that pace. We can get there. According to the White House, more than a third of all American adults, more than a third have now received at least one dose of the vaccine. 36% of all American adults. If we can keep up this pace, vaccinating 1% of the population every day, let alone, it's an even larger proportion of adults. And if we can keep up this pace, we've got more than a third of the population having at least one vaccine. Close to 70. I actually want to talk to Dr. Williams getting.
See where
Biden said today.
But let's see. I want to find where the part about infection is.
Getting a hold of that information about whether you can get infected once you're vaccinated and potentially pass it to somebody else, that's really important. Well, today the CDC reported new data that shows that under real-world conditions, not just in a lab, not just extrapolating from tiny numbers of test subjects, but looking at thousands of frontline health workers and essential workers who got vaccinated and who have since been doing their jobs and living in the real world, not only are the vaccines for those folks, thousands of them, keeping those people from getting sick from COVID themselves.
Okay, hold on one second. Now we're going to check the Moderna. Hold on. The Moderna and Pfizer very effective in real world. I'll just like. March, what is that? Yeah, March 29th. Here's the actual article. Let's see. Real world study by CDC shows Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are 90% effective. Study was released Monday, Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report, online journal, blah, 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 4,000 healthcare workers. Study followed nearly 4,000 healthcare workers, first responders, and other essential workers in 8 U.S. locations as the first COVID vaccines were rolled out starting in December. Participants were tested weekly to look for all cases for COVID infection, even asymptomatic ones. In the period of time from December 14, 2020 to March 13, 2021, nearly 75% of the workers in the cohort received at least one dose of the mRNA vaccines. Both are given a 2-dose schedule. There were 161 COVID infections in the unvaccinated workers compared with 16 in workers who had received only one dose by the time and only 3 in people who had received both doses and were 2 weeks from their second dose. The vaccine effectiveness following 2 doses was 90%, roughly in line with the 95 to 94% Pfizer and Moderna vaccines showed respectively in clinical trials. Again, at this point, this will be where she says,
those vaccines are also highly effective at preventing those people from getting infected, even with non-symptomatic infection. And if you are not infected, you can't give it to anybody else. And I know this sounds like an income.
Yeah, if you're not infected, you can't give it to anyone else. That's true. People who have breakthrough infections could pass it to other people. This isn't even misinformation.
Piece of
because that's what they're citing.
But sit on this for a second enough to absorb what this means. Right? What this means is that we can get there with vaccines. We can end this thing.
And we did, for all practical purposes.
It means that instead of the vaccine being able, instead of the virus being able to hop from person to person to person to person, spreading and spreading, sickening some of them, but not all of them, and the ones that it doesn't sicken don't know they have it, and then they give it to even more people because they didn't recognize they were, right? Instead of the virus being able to hop from person to person to person, potentially mutating and becoming more virulent and drug resistant along the way, now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus.
That would be the over definitive part of the article. That's where she's saying it stops with every vaccinated person. It stops with 98.7% of every vaccinated person.
The virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else.
Yeah, technically from that point of view, if you have it and if you're not reinfected yourself because you've been vaccinated, then you're definitely not going to pass it. The breakthrough infections and how infectious the breakthrough infections are to other people, namely because one of the things that they noticed about like Omicron, for example, versus Delta was that Delta was harsher than Omicron. Omicron was way more contagious. You didn't necessarily have to be symptomatic to pass it. Delta, you kind of did.
It cannot use a vaccinated person as a host to go get more people. That means...
And by the way, within the realm of 98.7%, she's absolutely right. Are there going to be breakthrough cases? Are there absolutes in medicine? No. And so when you talk in absolutes, that's going to be the problem. And there might have been a judicious use of the word practically in there. But for all real world experience, it's exactly what happened.
The vaccines will get us to the end of this.
And it did. And she's right.
If we just go fast enough to get the whole population vaccinated. It's huge news.
Sometimes Wes is bringing up a good point. He goes, no vaccine has ever prevented other people from getting it. Yeah, it does, though, when symptomatic transfer is necessary. So in a situation where if it's passed because people are wiping their eyes or their nose and they've got the sniffles and postnasal drip and their eyes are running and that kind of stuff, or they cough into their hand and they're shaking hands, if they don't have those symptoms and they're washing their hands, even if they're touching their salivary glands because they're a fucking pitcher and they do it like a tick, it's still not going to pass on to another person. It'll be, like rare upon rare upon rare that it does that. Because those are, those kind of diseases pass on because of their infectious nature.
Go and look at it on YouTube. We'll put a link in the description.
Which he didn't do. So again, misinformation. Thanks, Wes. If you like the show, please like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. If I get a strike from any of these sites on the terms of service and stuff, I will learn to speak better. So because I can say what I need to say without violating the terms of service.
Although, in my opinion, that's misinformation. Because the truth is, the fact...
Yeah. But on the facts, what you're saying is misinformation.
Vaccine does not stop you spreading the disease, does it?
Yeah, it does. 98% of the time, practically. I mean, we had 3 cases out of 4,000 healthcare workers. Out of 4,000 vaccinated healthcare workers, you had 3 reinfections. And no, by the way, even in that study, let me point this out again, too. Even in that study, see if we get this, where was it? I covered it up again, and I don't know where I did it. I'll do it again. Even in that particular story, of the 4,000 that got reinfected themselves, there is no data on them infecting other people with their recurring infection. So even still, it doesn't she's not wrong in this situation. I don't know of any cases, and this is true, I don't know of any cases or any data so far where they found that people who get reinfected after being vaccinated pass it on. Even still, even if they get infected themselves, that there's any data about who caught it from a vaccinated person. I'm sure some data has to exist because they're going to want to test that. Yes, and you're right. Hers was before Delta. No, the video we just watched was after Delta, by the way, before at the beginning of Omicron, which they were viewing as they didn't know if it was as dangerous as the Delta variant would be, but it was a hell of a lot more contagious. Yeah, the viral load is so small in somebody who's been vaccinated that most of the time they don't pass it on in the same way that it doesn't it doesn't trigger their own immune response, so they don't even get symptoms.
That was misinformation. Now,
and again, she said, if you don't get infected, you can't pass it on. And while there are breakthrough infections, she's saying if you're vaccinated and you don't get infected, you're not passing it on. It stops with every person who doesn't get infected, which is true.
Now, I'm not suggesting Rachel Maddow knew that.
All right. Anyways, this jackhole is going to reiterate these points for another 10 minutes or 12 minutes. And I pass. Most of the time I will go through the entire video, but it's just, I just wanted to see what video he got busted for. I'm shocked they're not taking down the rest of his shit, quite frankly, because he said way worse things, way more incendiary, borderline calling for violence against Dr. Fauci. So now, there's a myriad of things that we can look into, because the news cycle is that it giveth and it giveth again. The news cycle never gives up on me. And so there's so much news to this, and like around the ongoing fight between Trump and the DOJ over the Mar-a-Lago stuff. There's certainly I've got a backed up. I could do a Glenn Beck Pez dispenser of bullshit videos he put out. And yes, the trolls do love me. Thank you for pointing that out. I want to thank the trolls for coming and visiting us, especially the ones that spend most of their time at TYT and pretend to be progressives or Democrats and just hate on Democrats to try and stick a crowbar in and break that divide. Welcome. Glad to have you here. And it's nice. I suppose you get to take off your sheep's clothing and just be a wolf. Must be relaxing. And I thank you also for spreading us out into the algorithm. Without you, we wouldn't be able to reach as many people as we have. And we're getting up on that 50K number. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by hook or by crook by the end of the year. It's going to be a lot, but I'm maximum effort. That's what we're doing. And by the way, if you do subscribe, it just shows that you're a decent human being, even if you disagree with me. Did that work? You think that worked? Chat room, do you think they bought it? I hope so. Anyways, by hook or by crook, yes. But enough about Matt Gaetz. That said, it's hard for me to choose sometimes. It's very difficult for me to go into which videos are what, because there's so much to choose from. It's a joy. And especially, there's some of them that are just like, God damn it, do I really have to watch this one? Especially when it's the king of the marzipan people. Why is this so, what is the quality on this is just shit. I can go back to here, at least 720. God damn. Mr. Marzipan himself, the man who cooks his own Botox at home. The hearing's not going to happen tomorrow, by the way. They're going to move it because of the hurricane approaching. It's not coming near DC, obviously. I don't think Trump's Sharpie has been able to make the hurricane destroy Washington, D.C. If it did work, it would work, right? There you go. There's a glut. Yes, they still have Pez. As a matter of fact, I have an entire set of Pez dispensers. I just don't like Pez. As a matter of fact, one of my side project jobs I want to do is create alternate Pez candy that fit in Pez that, I probably would get sued, but just make candy that shape that tastes like something else. Because it stings my throat. I don't understand it. It's weird. Why couldn't they make Pez candy that tastes like Smarties? Would that be hard? You know what I'm talking about? All right, never mind. And Canadians, I'm not talking about your Smarties. Those are M&Ms. God damn it. It's difficult being so mega worldwide. Okay, here we go. This is Eric Bowling with the balance, or the off kilter. By the way, we have Eric Bowling to thank for John Paul McIsaac talking himself into a fucking circle. Literally, we watched the Hunter Biden laptop facade fall apart on the air with Eric Bowling interviewing that dickhead. Now he's got Alina Haba 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 Haba. And Alina Haba 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 is worried that apparently the FBI are coming for her next.
What is it, folks?
Whatever part of your body your next is, I don't know.
Is it government reach, overreach?
It's government McReach, which, like the McRib, only comes up twice a year. The fuck did you just say, dummy?
What is it, folks? Is it government reach?
Yes, it's government reach. That's the thing. Why can't we have, instead of government overreach, just government McReach with fries?
Overreach? Is it deep state on full display?
No, it's not. There is no deep state. You're a fucking idiot. All functioning societies need bureaucrats that don't have to fucking leave everything at their desk like some sort of commie workspace every time the leadership changes.
Take a look at this. FBI SWAT team raided and arrested a Catholic pro-life leader.
FBI SWAT team. Okay, first of all, the FBI doesn't have a SWAT team. They have armed teams, but it's not a SWAT team. Special Weapons and Tactics is a police organization. You fuck. This is a disgrace, and people should not be happening in America. Pray for Mark Huck and his family. Read there. The Kingman Catholic Church. FBI criticized for armed arrest of Catholic leader. All right, maybe they'll show the article. They're just showing the tweet. J.H. Western. No date on it, but we'll see. Hold on one second. Do I always have to look this? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. At J.H. Western. J.H. Wester. There he is. Front-end developers, Schneider, Rotterdam. No. No, there's a J.H. Wester, which, not to be confused with, and I did, with Jap behind the Wester, front-end developer, Scheidenheim in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. That dude's pro-Ukraine, pro-peace, and pro-windmill. Clearly not the same fucking person. So hold on. J.H. Western? The type is really small on my screen because it's Stephen Clark. Is that who that is? John Henry Western. Nope. God damn it. Who is this dude? There's a bunch of people. John Henry. Oh, he's got a hyphen in between his name? Motherfucker. Is this, you couldn't find somebody more fucking obscure? West End? In a Western town, a dead-end world. Eastern boys and Western. There he is. J.H. Weston. That's this guy. The John Henry Weston Show. All right, we found him. Fucking hell. I thought it said Western because the pixels are so goddamn small. Okay, this is one of the lowest... This is his latest tweet. This is one of the lowest points in American history. The corrupt FBI needs to be dissolved. Okay. Here we go. Where are we? Almost had it. Conservatives blast the FBI raid a pro-life Catholic dad of 7. There's a video from a show called Life Site. Let's look at it. Oh, it's Newt Gingrich. What a shock. Let's see. This is amazing. On September 23rd, FBI raided the home of Catholic pro-life speaker, author Mark Huck with guns drawn as his 7 children watched, screaming in quotes. So they were kind of screaming, or they didn't scream, or they... All right.
You have the U.S. government apparently sending people with weapons at 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean,
apparently, they either did or they didn't.
Why did they feel they had to go at 7 a.m.?
Because they do that early in the morning because they're less likely... People get a little shooty and stabby around 10 a.m. That's why, fucko. He was arrested for assaulting a 73-year-old clinic oh, there's that guy. Okay. Yeah, where's this? Hold on. Which guy is it? His name is... In front of his kids. Why is that a quote from you? This is a turning point in history. The FBI just raided the house of a regular pro-life father in front of his kids. Mark Huck. Right. Okay, sorry. Scroll down here. We'll continue to listen to this bullshit, but give me a second. Mark Huck. That's Hulk. Mark Hulk. This is the, here's the arrest warrant or the statement on it for immediate release. Bucks County man indicted on federal charges for assaulting a reproductive health care clinic escort. United States Attorney Jacqueline Romero announced that Mark Huck, 48 of Kintnersville, PA, was charged with an indictment with a violation of the freedom of access to clinic entrances, the FACE Act, which makes it a federal crime to use force with intent to injure, intimidate, or interfere with anyone because the person is a provider of reproductive health care. The defendant was arrested and made his initial appearance in federal court for charges earlier today. According to court documents, the defendant is alleged to have twice assaulted a man because he was a volunteer reproductive health care clinic escort. The charges stem from two separate incidents, both on October 13th, which occurred at the Planned Parenthood Elizabeth Blackwell Health Center on Locust Street in Philadelphia, where Huck allegedly assaulted the victim, a 72-year-old man, identified in the indictment as BL because BL was a volunteer escort at the reproductive health care clinic. In the first incident, BL was attempting to escort two patients exiting the clinic, with the defendant forcibly shoved BL to the ground. In the second incident, the defendant verbally confronted BL and forcibly shoved BL to the ground in front of the Planned Parenthood Center, causing injuries to BL that required medical attention. Assault is always a serious offense, and under the FACE Act, if the victim is targeted because of their association with a reproductive health care clinic, it is a federal crime. Our office in the Department of Justice are committed to prosecuting crimes which threaten the safety and rights of all individuals. Put simply, violence is never the answer, said Jacqueline McGuire, special agent in charge of the FBI's Philadelphia division. Violating the FACE Act by committing a physical assault is a serious crime for which the FBI will work to hold offenders accountable. If convicted, he faces a maximum possible sentence of 11 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and fines up to $350,000. The case was investigated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, is being prosecuted by the Assistant United States Attorney Anita Eve and DOJ trial attorney Sanjay Patel of the Civil Rights Division. There it is. Now, this dude pushed down a 72-year-old man twice in the same day, trying to stop people from going to the clinic. And by the way, the guy who shot Tiller, the abortion care provider that Bill O'Reilly called Tiller the baby killer, is the reason why they showed up armed to get this guy. It has nothing to do with this fuckhead shoving somebody. They're going to show up at your house. They're going to get you for a violent assault. They're going to come armed, especially to your house if you're, especially if you're aligned with a group committing a civil rights offense, because those kind of folks tend to open fire. I don't know why these guys put
You have the U.S. government apparently sending people with weapons at 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean,
and that's the guy that shoved him? Okay.
Why did they feel they had to go at 7 a.m. when and his 7 kids, imagine what they're watching.
Well, if they came in at 6, one of the kids would feel left out.
As their father's taken away.
Did they watch as he shoved a 72-year-old man to the fucking ground? Did he bring his kids to sit in the car? Watch this, kids. This is how you handle freedom in America. This guy has every right to do this. I've lost real legal recourse in doing this, so I'm going to push this old man down twice.
If by the law, legally, they're doing everything by the book, the criticism that's out there about...
No, I don't. If they're doing everything legally by the book, the criticisms are political. Therefore, they belong in an entirely different venue. If you violently assault someone apropos of nothing, you show up where they are and physically attack them and they need medical care, you're going to get a knock on your door. And just because you have keeping your kids at home is not a way to stop from being arrested for violent assault.
About overplaying your hand with some of these arrests and making...
No, this fucker could have turned himself in. If this was in civil disobedience, if as a Christian he felt he needed to do this, he could have just said, they're going to come for me, hon. I don't want him to bother the kids. So kids, I love you. I'll see you later. And he could, yeah.
Making examples out of people.
Well, the local cops definitely can charge him for other stuff. There will be state charges on this for simple assault that will go with this. But this is a violation of a federal the FACE Act. So the feds will have first dibs.
While people wait for any arrests on the attacks on the pro-life clinics, you might have wanted to massage this a little differently.
I cannot see circumstances here that in any way justify the use of a SWAT team for what
It wasn't a SWAT team, fucko.
Would ordinarily be a misdemeanor assault.
Yeah, or ordinarily, shoving a 72-year-old man onto the sidewalk and injuring him, it's nothing. By the way, if it was a black dude shoving this guy down on the ground and he scuffed his elbow, do you think any of these motherfuckers would be talking this way?
if what is alleged in the warrant is true.
That's nice. Life, culture, family, and denying charges that other people witnessed to under oath and the police officers executed under oath. Yeah. The music, I don't know, like a lot of pro-life sites like to put the train fucking music from Risky Business under their videos. I don't know.
And father of 7 for...
I'm sorry. Just because you were fruitful and multiplied... Hold on. Let's see if I want to do... Let's see. There you go. You know, just here you go. Here, look at this. This father. I mean, he's a single dad. Sure, that girl was conceived while he was on death row for the rape and murder of multiple women. But, you know, look at that. I mean, they burst in on this guy. They used guns to grab this guy. I mean, honestly, this guy had a son. Yeah. How about Gary Ridgway? His son said he was a normal dad. He was a soccer dad. How would they attack a soccer dad like that? Hey, look, it's Dennis Rader. He's got a daughter. That might be, let's see. Yeah. This, yeah, here you go. Fred, that's what I was looking for, by the way, why I got 7 children. Fred and Rose West had 7 kids. They killed 2 of their own kids and buried one of them in the garden. And, let's see. So claims they fell. See, they ended up getting, where is it? Sexual abuse of a 14-year-old girl. Right. Yeah. Steve was raped, beaten, and constantly humiliated by his mother, Rose, when he was young. Yeah, there we go. Hold on. Yeah, they had 7 kids and they killed 2 of them.
Alleged violations of the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act.
No. Fuck you, not alleged violations of the Freedom of Access to Clinics Act, you bastard, for assaulting someone in the process. If he had obstructed it, if he laid down on the ground, he would have been in violation of the FACE Act, but he wouldn't have gotten, they would have picked him up later at work or some shit like that and cuffed him.
Act. Let's bring in President Trump's attorney, Alina Habba. Alina, thank you for joining us. Very, very scary. This man.
Oh, thank you, Kim Allen.
He gets raided. FBI came, guns blazing. His wife tells the story.
Guns blazing. Fuck you. That means open fire. They didn't come in guns blazing, you prick. Again, how is this not a violation of terms of service? Why is this not like calling for violence against police officers or FBI? Guns blazing? Jesus Christ. Hold on. Sorry, I'll bring the audio up.
Story that they're pounding on the door.
Yeah, that happens all the time. They will bang on your door with authority. And they will say FBI because some people who are lunatics, when they hear a knock at the door that isn't expected, will come to the door with a gun because they don't know who it is, and then it leads to other shit. So by going boom, 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 FBI, boom, 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 open up, boom, 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 like that, you're like, oh shit, these guys are serious. It really is the FBI. Look out the window. It really is them, blah, 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 blah. But if you're just like, hello? That's when a barrel gets stuck out the door because these people are crazy, or whoever you're looking for might be, engaged in criminal activity. It's policy, you dipshit. And that's Alina Habba.
Until they opened up, they tried to get the kids upstairs. FBI came in with their guns out, and before
blazing. Were they blazing? Were their guns on fire? Were their suits on fire? Were they wearing flame retardant suits? The big silver ones that the fire department uses.
Or they were even to show her the warrant. They took him off, carted him off. What's going on here?
Yeah, they cuff you before they show you the warrant because they're dealing with someone who's accused of a violent crime, dummy.
Help us out.
By the way, she doesn't know. Why are you asking her?
Can you imagine?
Yes, I can imagine.
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. Jesus Christ. Yeah, her audio is fucked. What?
Completely weaponized the FBI.
No, they have not.
We have them pounding
This motherfucker weaponized his hands against another human being who was not being violent at the time. Fuck you.
on to children are in the home. I mean, tell me how.
Look, you don't get to use your fucking kids as a human shield. Honey, let's have a baby. Why? Well, in a couple of years, I might commit a crime and I want some sort of a defense. We got to be able to hold these motherfuckers up. You know, I want a new toddler every so often because they get heavy and you can't lift them up and put them between you and the cops. Like, what the fuck?
How that makes any sense. And then I want to understand why we're not fixing the other issues and why Hunter Biden's not being pounded down. It makes.
Why is Hunter Biden not being pounded down? Well, judging from the videos, he's the one that does the pounding. Am I right? Get out of here. Come on. Boing, boing, boing.
No sense to me, honestly.
That's all he is standing at a church clapping. This is an innocent, peaceful man.
So the FBI raids a pro-life leader.
No, they don't. There's lots of pro-life leaders in this country, Eric Boring. You fuck. They raided the house of a man who violently assaulted someone else.
Meanwhile, 2020, they were rioting on.
I'm sorry, my ears have already attenuated to her microphone. So
the streets, they were breaking into stores, looting stores. Nothing to see here, folks. But this guy apparently goes once a week. He takes his own time from his own family, and he goes to Philadelphia and counsels young women.
And pushes down old people.
Who may be looking for an abortion and may not want to. And
if they don't want to hear from him, or their escorts aren't letting him talk to them up or take them away. So let me get this straight. This father of 7, this Catholic pro-life guy, wants to just have some alone time with some young women who find themselves pregnant and not in a secure relationship and maybe a little confused. And he just needs to take them to a local motel and, preach to them about the word of Jesus Christ. This doesn't sound fucking creepy at all. Where are you going, honey? I'm going to go talk to some women that I perceive to be promiscuous and try to help them find Jesus by anointing them with my oil. Plus, they're already knocked up, so I'm totally...
helps him out, but somehow, can you help us out with this FACE Act, the Freedom of Access to Clinical Entrances law?
No, she can't. Why are you talking to her about this, you fuckhead? What does she know about it?
What is it? Break it down for us.
You know what? I don't know much about.
Jesus Christ. Of course, she's Trump's lawyer. She doesn't know shit. Jesus Christ. How did I spot? I mean, honestly, how did I not spot it? But how do you... Yeah, she sounds like... She sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher. That's my impersonation of Chewbacca talking to Charlie Brown's teacher. You're welcome.
About it, to be honest, the reality of the situation is that it's become a very political hot topic, right?
Wow. Where do they find these keen minds to talk about these heavy issues? So pardon me, I'm new here. So abortion, you're saying, is become a politically hot topic. When did that shit start?
So we have people trying to push so that you basically cannot have any options in terms of abortion. And
no. That's why it's called Planned Parenthood. adoption is one of the options. They talk about it there.
And then we have the recent law that obviously changed.
Look, one of the options should be, if you're young, perhaps even underage, that the head of a good Catholic man with 7 children and a wife who's quite frankly exhausted should be able to just take you aside, put his arm around you, and tell you a story about salvation. That is a really cute dress.
Coming from the Supreme Court decision in SCOTUS, and that has created this political climate against women's rights to choose or the state's right to govern those choices.
Thanks for breaking it down for us. What the shit?
And without getting into, my personal beliefs on it, I think that we have
because she's pro-choice.
To have some regulation.
We do have regulations already, dum-dum.
But we can't be targeting, which is what happened here. A target on
No, asshole. He targeted someone. He goes out every weekend to target people. And in this case, he physically targeted someone. They didn't come get him because of what he fucking says. They came and got him because of what he fucking did.
An individual who is pro-life.
No, he isn't. Sorry. Citation needed. Hashtag citation needed.
Who is assisting that venue of choice. And as you know,
he's assisting that venue of choice? Jesus Christ, now I know why Trump chose her.
Many left, not all, but many left-wing Democrats are.
Many left-wing Democrats. Hold on one second. Oh, these silly folks. Black a black.
Are very anti-pro-choice. Pro-life.
Oops. Jesus Christ. It's all Freudian slips all the time. It's K-Freud. Tune in for all the fresh and hottest Freudian slips around. Next up, Ron Johnson with I commend white supremacy. Condemn.
It's sad. It's a really sad.
So help us out here.
She can't.
I carry the Constitution around.
Really? You still haven't gotten around to reading it?
Fourth Amendment, it guards against overzealous and illegal searches.
Dude, it's right there in fucking front of you. You can't misquote the fucking thing. Unreasonable search and seizure. I carry this around, and it says something, I don't know, there's a Fourth Amendment. I know that because there's a fifth, so there's got to be a fourth. And it says something about, I don't know, they're not allowed to bother Trump. Something like that. Anyways, I don't really read the whole thing. I have it on tape.
And seizures. I'm just thinking of when it's someone on the right. This guy clearly wasn't violent.
Yes, he was. He was clearly fucking violent. That's exactly why they came. Could you know less about this shit? The only person who knows less about this stupid case than Eric Bolling is his guest, is her. She doesn't even know about the fucking issue. Jesus Christ. Clearly, it's not violent to push a 72-year-old man down on the sidewalk twice in the same fucking day where he needs medical attention. I don't even know why they
weren't going to need their guns out to take a man away from his wife and 7 children watching. Yet they bust in, they almost break the door down, according to her account.
He's not 100% sure that he heard that properly, clearly. They busted, according to what she said. Did she say that?
It harkens back to when Roger Stone had similar treatment. The guy's 70-something years old. He's got 125 SWAT agents that show up early in the dawn morning and banging.
Yeah, because these assholes pose with guns
on his door as well. Is there a
Mm-hmm. Here it is. 1 second. Finding something for you guys. Can't imagine why those guys would show up at his fucking house. Whoops. Get out of here. Whoops. You know, my pages come back up. You rat. Hold on. Got to bring my pages back up. There you go. And back up. Hold on. There you go. This guy. Here you go. Here. You want to know why they fucking showed up at his door? Here's why they showed up at his fucking door with guns, dipshit. They check. Who you going to get today? Not like when they went for Jeffrey Clark, they didn't show up with their guns out like they had to here. This is why. Because fucking Roger Stone went to a gun range with Alex fucking Jones. Let's see if they have any more of the pictures on there. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm not advocating violence, but if there's a coup d'etat, if there's an illegitimate unconstitutional effort to remove Donald Trump on Trump charges based on the partisan prosecutors or illegitimate takedown of the 25th Amendment, there will be a civil war in this country, Stone says in the video. The Trump constituency has been awakened and they will not be put to sleep. I choose to defend myself and my family. I'm tired of the death threats. I'm tired of the need for personal security. I'm tired of the insults, and therefore I'm going to defend the Constitution myself. Roger's been going to the shooting range more and more, Jones says in the video, and now has security just like we do. Then they hit the gun range where Stone and Jones fire a number of automatic weapons at paper targets. Die, commie dogs. Oh, sorry, that's Stone. Die, commie dogs. I don't know how Stone talks. Says he... die, commie dogs. That's how Roger Stone talks, as far as I know. Up against the wall, commies. The two also joked about making a JFK throat shot. And Jones calls Stone the Rambo of the movement to take out the globalists. AKA Jew. So, yeah, there we go. Move these guys out of the way. Just, yeah. So,
bias, and is that something that we can call them out for? And is there anything illegal about what they're doing?
No, there isn't. Why are you honestly, he was like trying to find the dumbest person he could to ask these questions.
I think so.
I think so. Well, you think wrong. As an officer of the court, you should fucking know better.
So you forget the one thing about Roger Stone's story is that the CNN happened to have a leak again and was planted outside in the morning before Roger Stone's phone got raided. It's completely uncanny. We have to start fighting back.
Uncanny.
Wish I could say that I think that cleanup could start before the midterms, but I don't believe it can.
Nah, definitely not.
I think we have to get the House and Senate back. We have to move forward in the midterm elections. That's why everybody's got to get out and vote.
It's interesting that Roger Stone has released the video of himself being arrested, and yet Trump hasn't released the video from Mar-a-Lago. Weird. I don't know. You know, it's just crazy. I don't know why.
And then once we do that, I think the first thing we need to do is go in and clean up the FBI, the DOJ, and any government officials who are using their political stance against people who happen to be on the other side. And that goes both ways, Eric. And I always say this. I believe in the Constitution and I believe in the Fourth Amendment, which you mentioned. It's not about what side you're on. It's not about if you're a Republican or a Democrat. It's about respecting the Constitution and the rights that we're all afforded as Americans.
Right. Which is exactly why, by the way, if you ever tried to use anything that you say come from the Hunter Biden laptop, it would never be admissible in court because there's no chain of evidence and it's been handed around so many times and modified since it left his care. So a first-year law student could get it thrown out if it did exist, which it doesn't. And if she was Hunter Biden's attorney, even as dumb as she is, I'm going to go with foreshortened nostrils. As someone who has blazingly large nostrils, I find it hard to believe they come in that size in adult noses. I'm just saying.
American issue.
It's an American issue.
I really,
which is why I did. Sorry, is Eric Bolling just turning into a 1930s gin drunk in front of us?
urge people to be paying attention to the news. Look at
Yes, pay attention to the news, which, you know, sorry to say, Eric, means not watching your show.
these raids. You know, I'm concerned that if I'm a vocal attorney for President Trump, but I'm also a vocal Republican, does that mean that my children and my home are going to get raided?
No. But I do appreciate you coming on Eric Bolling's show and them allowing you to say this, because you know that it's very possible that under RICO, you're going to get a search warrant at your home because you're involved in criminal activity as Trump's lawyer instead of representing him in a criminal matter. And so by saying this, like, are they going to attack my house? In front of, like, nobody's safe. By doing the nobody's safe bullshit, you can preemptively attack the FBI because you know they're looking at you.
You know, I feel bad for that family that was pro-life, that he's, you know, that's his.
Yeah, they're no longer pro-life. I don't know if you know that. Yeah. One guns ablazing raid by the FBI, and they're no longer, they're not even Christians anymore. They're now Wiccan. Yeah. Apparently, while the FBI were there going through their rummaging, they like to rummaging through their drawers. And I hope they mean the ones in their bureaus. That they baptized them all in the Church of Satan. I mean, I've never seen one of the baptisms, but I know it's a party. A lot of glitter. There's an inflatable unicorn doll of some sort.
Police. He is obviously a spokesperson of sorts, and he is there.
He's obviously a spokesperson of sorts, motherfucker. It's like, I don't think Alina Habba is a real person. I think Trump is using a filter to, like, he's like, where am I? He's like, my name is Alina Habba, an attorney at law, mostly at law. People even say very well-respected firm. And they say he's very respected as a known person who does these things that, and you know this better than anyone, that this is the kind of thing that they're doing. Thank you. I do look lovely. You're right. It's, I mean, I got a career in drag, if anything, you know, it's not going to happen. Don't hold your breath.
There to help.
She literally talks like Trump does. It's amazing. Like, it seems to be the thing that that attached him to her.
Assist women who need guidance, and he is entitled to his First Amendment right and his Fourth Amendment right.
Yeah, but he's not entitled to trespass on the grounds of these private places, and he's certainly not allowed to push fucking people down for escorting people to their cars for their own safety.
Against illegal search and seizure.
I mean,
against illegal search, get the fuck out of here. They got him because he's wanted on a warrant for violent behavior.
I mean, Alina, overreach, over-exaggeration.
He's still mad at himself for saying, is this government reach, in the beginning of the video. So he wants to say overreach again to kind of, like, get a do-over. Overkill. Go fuck yourself. Oh my God. The fuck is wrong with this? FBI raids home of Catholic father of 7, guns blazing. Is this overkill? I don't know why he didn't just make a video of them just like, racket.
To ask to bring a guy who simply is counseling young women.
No, he's not simply counseling young women. He pushed the fucker down. He assaulted someone, you prick.
On whether or not to have an abortion. They need guns out for this?
They need guns out. I mean, are any of them 72 and walking down a sidewalk? Because why would they feel threatened otherwise?
when he's sitting at home with his family?
With his family? I mean, my God.
I mean,
The police barged in to Jeffrey Dahmer's house while he was there with his lover, who he had lobotomized with a screwdriver, with an electric screw gun, and was hiding under the bed, and while he was boiling parts of another one, and they were having family dinner. I mean, he considered them family, and he was eating them for dinner. Why? How?
you would think he was providing abortions in his home illegally, the way that they behaved. If to the contrary,
he's illegally having more kids because if she's going to say he's being fruitful and multiplying,
coaching women that don't want abortion or want to.
He's coaching them. Honey, I have to go to a motel. These coaching sessions have to be private, and I don't live here. I mean, if we want to buy a house there, I mean, you and the kids can't go there, but
know what their options are and how to proceed in
here's just some of your options. You could put the child up for adoption. You could let me take a look at the fetus with the head of my penis.
That way.
Sorry.
And I'm, it's grounded.
Like this dude just reeks of a creep who likes to talk to girls who got themselves in a family way while not being in a family. And he's like, well, one thing I do know, she puts out.
In his Catholicism and in his religion, and to target these people.
Yeah, his Catholicism doesn't tell him to assault people.
And to say that we're not being targeted or they're not being targeted is uncanny.
Again, there goes that word again, uncanny. It's uncanny.
I'm a Catholic Arab. My family, my religion was targeted, is targeted in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm. And
if we want our country to become like that, well, we should then just ignore what is happening.
What are you talking about? He viewed his religious belief as the dominant religious belief, and he attacked someone for not sharing his religious belief about abortion. In your analogy, he would be the mullahs in Iran, or he would be the religious extremists who force you to behave under their, under their view of Islam, or being a Muslim at all in the case of being a Catholic Arab.
But I think everybody's eyes need to be open. I am so glad that you covered this, Eric.
Yes, and you did so well. The fact that you have no fucking idea why he was actually arrested is amazing. Because you did it's one thing for me to I needed a refresher because there's so much shit going on to look up the story, but we'd seen this story before. And the fact that in a couple of seconds, you and I were able to just go, oh shit, yeah, that. Oh no, fuck that guy. This wasn't about belief. Your belief stops the minute you put your hands on somebody.
So frightening.
We're going to stay on it.
And it's not just it's anybody with an opposing view. We're
going to stay on it. We've reached out to Mark, and he's responding. He has to lay low right now.
Yes, because if he comes on your show, he has to lay low. He has to lay low. Jesus Christ. In case the federales come for him, he's got to lay low. He's got to come on your show because he's got a pending indictment and not basically commit another crime or put himself in a situation where he, once he's found guilty, which he will be, the judge will refer to videos he did in between his arrest and his trial and his sentencing as, a wanton disregard for the rule of law.
Talking to his attorney because we want to continue this conversation, because I don't see them banging down the doors of all the people who are threatening and just defacing counseling, pro-life counseling centers across the country, and they've been defaced all across the country.
Yeah, that's vandalism, and that's a misdemeanor, and that's on a state level. If you think it's a hate crime, if they don't incorporate you're against my choice, but you Catholic bastard, then maybe you have a case for a civil rights violation, and you should fucking go for it. But there's a huge difference between vandalism and pushing down a 72-year-old man, face-to-face physical confrontation with another human being where that person ends up injured. And if you can't tell the difference, it's because you won't tell the difference because you don't give a fuck. You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide, and some of these are harder to do than others. I got to go. I got to wrap the show tonight because I got to hit the fucking road. I got a 4-hour drive ahead of me, and I still got to pack a bag for tomorrow. Because I got a show tomorrow night at Flappers. I look forward to seeing several of you there. Anybody who can make it in our Patreon crowd, let me know. And you'll be on our list because you get to bring you and a guest at any Patreon level. If I'm ever in town, I'm doing a show. It's just me, though. This doesn't apply to like Nerd Halen shows or Sexy Liberal because I can't take a chunk out of other people's livelihoods. These are just my shows, but that will always stand for my shows. And I will also be streaming the show for you guys as well tomorrow night. Everybody else will get to watch it later, but the patrons get to watch it live if they want to. So there you go. Also, thank you guys for the super chats and the support. The new founders. Oh my gosh, Eric. My mental count has you at 5 cats, so I'm gifting $20 for each and treats for your birthday because I know you prefer to give than receive. Keep up the good times. Eric, thank you so much for that super chat. Bless you. That's really awesome. Oh, Buddha and the Eagle. Thanks, man. How I was surprised we didn't get a good lock 'em up chant going at the Sexy Liberal shows. Too soon or never going to happen. Happy birthday. I heard you say lock 'em up a couple times. That's not going to happen at those shows because it will be seen as too much in line with their behavior. Although I am not against, in deference to you, my friend, writing a song called "Lock 'Em Up" that we do as in a sing-song way, just to irritate them. So it takes the edge of violence that they have off of it and just turns it into a, indict the fucker kind of thing. Kim, thank you so much for those super chats as well. Jonathan, thank you for being a member. Shanatova Hal, all right, and to the Halites, to everybody who celebrates, absolutely. G Games Leland, I want to thank you for playing Tony Stark in Spider-Man 2. Little weird they gave you 5 bionic children, but it's a fresh take on the character. I agree. I will at some point, I have faith that at some point in the MCU, they're going to come knocking and go, you know what would be really awesome since you have the single best known cameo in all of the movies that isn't a Stan Lee cameo. We would like you to play this character. I'm working out as if that decision has already been made, and quite frankly, I'm in better shape than some of the superheroes. So I'm just going to say, hope springs eternal. Wish me luck. I think I'd be great too. I'll even be a rando X-Men. I don't care. I mean, I think I'd make an excellent Gambit, and not just because longbow staff is my weapon of choice. I did several forms with it in Wushu, and I still got it, baby. So, Alpha Flight, absolutely, yeah. And they want me to play. For those of you that don't know, they're the Canadian Avengers / X-Men, and they're where's the whole thing? Yeah, here, let me get a good picture of them. Guardian is their leader, and it's like, man, if you think the Captain America's outfit is on the nose, check out this thing. That's Guardian right there, and that is a maple leaf, baby. That is a big Canadian flag. That dude is wearing the most hockey superhero outfit you have ever fucking seen, and I love it. And Puck and Sasquatch, and yeah, they're just all, it's that, I loved Alpha Flight. Part of me, the biggest problem I have, and I'll leave you guys with this, sorry, Glenn, you get no time. One of the things about playing a superhero character is I want to play one that doesn't wear a mask or a helmet. And they're fairly rare because I don't want to be all CG all the time. I don't want to end up like Robert Downey Jr., that whenever he's Iron Man, he's either wearing half of one piece of an arm and they CG the rest of the suit in person, or he's doing it all in another room away from the other actors with 5 cameras pointed at his face, and then they put everything in later. And so he's basically just acting alone. Same thing with Hulk. you know, he at least got to wear the stuff on his face occasionally and walk around. But they had to put him, you know, they had to elevate him Lord of the Rings style. That's why I think Gambit's kind of a good one, because you see most of his face. So that you know it's me doing the shit. Know what I'm saying? So, anyways, but beggars can't be choosers, and we'll see. I'm not ruling it out at some point. And again, the good thing is that I can always, as I age, jack myself up physically even more and just be a really gnarly looking Frank Castle. So, I don't mind doing that either. But if I ever did Punisher, I would wear the traditional outfit. White gloves, white boots, big skull. None of this, like, spray painted on a bulletproof vest horse shit. So, yes, that's right. Look for Jupiter tonight, everybody. It's the closest it will be. It has been in 100 years or something, and it won't be around again until like 2124, I think, somewhere around that. So, yeah, go out. There's videos online about how to look it up, or go to nasa.gov, and there's all kinds of information about looking at it. And you can see it with a conventional telescope. So if you have one, give it a look. But either way, thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys. And Poetess, thank you so much as well. Thank you guys for being members as well on YouTube. You can now gift memberships. I keep forgetting to mention that, but you can. But either way, on your way out, give a thumbs up, like the show, subscribe, and I will continue to handle these things in a way that makes you feel comfortable with knowing the other side's argument without being tortured by it. That's the best I can do. I adore you guys. I love you. I will see you tomorrow. Philip Bittner in the morning, and then regular show in the afternoon from LA, and then I've got a show tomorrow night, and then a long drive ahead. So both nights, I'm a crazy man. That's all you need to do. I'll see you later.